Well, howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. We're back here with the 94.73 Power Stroke, my 1-ton dually here, and I thought I'd give you guys a quick update. And another thing that I kind of wanted to make a little video on for those of you who might be dealing with this issue as I am, or was, is what happens if you have an OBS Ford that's a factory radio delete truck. How do you unradio delete it? So, as you guys can tell, this thing's all covered in mud. We're having a nice spring up here in Alaska. You can see dirt's starting to come out in front of the shop there, so we're almost to the summertime, and unfortunately the pickup's just taken all the mud. So for a quick update for you guys, I'm sure you see my fancy antenna there. We've got a CB radio in here that I got, a unit in Bearcat 880. This thing's pretty nice, and so I'm pretty happy with that. You can see I got my toggles here. Those are for the lights in the bumper. Like I showed you guys, I made those brackets and I think I showed those on the channel. So we got those. My fuel tank switch is fixed. I don't know if I had that in any videos, but I got a repair bracket and it mounts on 2 screws that hold the headlight switch in. You can see there's a little bit of play in the hole and the holes that mount the fuel tank switch, and I need to adjust on that so it's square. I just haven't done that yet, been too lazy for it. But what we're talking about here today is the old unradio delete. So when I got this truck, it actually did have a radio in the hole. It was this radio, an old Mazda one, and in paint pen on top of this, it says 95 F150. So this radio came out of a 95 F150, and they threw it in this truck, which is a 94, so that's how I know it's not original. And yeah, this thing wasn't hooked up. It had power going to it, but they didn't hook up the antenna or the speakers. The reason they didn't hook up the speakers is that there were no speakers in this truck. So in the door pockets here, the big hole where the speaker goes actually had like factory cellophane stretched over it. And I got a photo of that before I installed speakers. So yeah, the front speaker holes were blocked off. All the holes to mount the speaker were drilled in the door and everything. It was just blocked off. And in the corner of the cab, there just wasn't anything there. But in the corner of the cab, when you go to install these back corner speakers, the corner speakers actually mount on a single cab. They mount to this panel here that you see. They just screw into the back side of that, so that was super easy to install those. And the plug was just taped up. It was right there in the corner, so those were super easy. I just literally screwed those into this panel, plugged them in. The door speakers were a little different story because I had to run wires through the boot here, and then the plug is in the kick panel here. There's a little plug that they stuck in here from the factory that had all the outlets for everything that this truck didn't have. So I'm pretty sure if I were upgrading to power windows and power locks, I'm almost certain that there's wires there for that too. I didn't investigate because obviously I'm not doing those. I'm pretty happy with my mechanical windows. So anyhow, all I had to do was look up the color codes for the speaker wires, and then I made a little jumper wire that ran from here through there, down, and then it's hooked up in there. And that's all that was. It was super easy to do. And then so this truck would have had a block-off plate, just a black plastic plate that said Ford on it. That's all it would have had from the factory. Somebody stuck that other radio in here. I don't know why they put a radio in here and didn't bother to put speakers in, but that's why when I got this thing I was confused as to why the radio didn't work, is because, well, it didn't work because there were no speakers. So anyhow, fortunately enough, what makes this super easy with these radio delete trucks like mine here is, like I said, all the wires are already run. So right there in the kick panel is the wire for the door speakers. All you have to do is plug in the kick panel, or the back corner speakers, so that's super easy. And then back behind the dash here, once you get your block-off plate or your old radio out, all the wires are already back there. And what I went ahead and did is track down just some OEM replacement speakers off eBay. They're used speakers out of other OBS Fords. I wanted to do that just so I know if it came out of an OBS Ford, guess what? It's going to fit my OBS Ford. So that's what I went ahead and did. And I'm not a snob about, you know, sound quality and, you know, all that nonsense. So I really don't care. I just wanted, you know, as long as I can tell what the song is that I'm listening to, that's all I really care about, to be honest. So that's why I went ahead and just picked up some cheap used speakers off eBay. And like I said, they came out of an OBS. They're going to go right back into this one. So those all mounted up perfectly fine. And then all the plugs are behind the dash. And then I picked up this JVC stereo. This is a pretty cheap unit. It was like 80 bucks or 90 bucks. It's a JVC KD T720BT. So it's got Bluetooth and a CD player. Up here in Alaska, you know, you run out of radio range pretty common. It's, you know, we don't have a lot of radio stations, so a lot of the time you're either listening to downloaded songs on Bluetooth or you're rocking the old CD player. So that's why I went ahead and got a CD player. A lot of guys will do the double din stereos that are big giant things, and they'll stick up or they'll cut the dash out down here to mount them. There's some pretty clean like installs that you can do for that. I'm not a big fan of all the big touchscreen nonsense. Like I said, I just want to hear music and know what the song is, so that's all I really care about. But yeah, otherwise, I ordered the stereo here. I ordered that from Crutchfield, and they had a service that they made the harness for me. And it was like $20 or $25. I think it was $25. And they made the harness. So seriously, once I got the speakers mounted in, all I had to do was shove this thing in the hole and plug it in, and I was done. So that's pretty easy. So if any of you guys have a OBS, or I think, you know, it's probably the same for a lot of other Fords. Honestly, I couldn't tell you because this is the only one I've dealt with that's been a radio delete truck. And yeah, like I said, super easy. Some good information for you guys if you're trying to, you know, unradio delete your truck like I am here. And yeah, well, I guess I could give you guys a listen to the radio. It's kind of mean not to. We'll give you the, you know, 5 seconds of a song so you know that it's a song, but not so that it like... Do we have... Yeah. So that's pretty quiet there. I didn't, you know, turn it up super loud, but it sounds pretty good to me. And if I want to upgrade the speakers in the future, I can. I just wanted to get cheapo, you know, used speakers just to make sure everything works and is wired in, so I'm not just throwing down serious money on a stereo system for none of it to work. So anyways, there's for you guys. That's how you unradio delete your OBS Ford. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've done to this thing since the last time you guys saw it, other than, well, I'm pretty proud of this, so I'll show you guys that. Picked up these International mud flaps, the old 30s and 40s International triple diamond logo, and those look pretty mint. You can't see because of all the sun glare, but just picture, you know, the logo there. So anyways, there's a quick little update for you guys on the old Power Stroke. Sorry the interior is a mess. I've been using this thing, daily driving it. So yeah, now I've got the interior pretty much dialed in the way I want it to be. I've got radio, CB, I've got all my lights that I want. So now I'm just down to like finding a better dash pad and stuff like that. So anyways, also my old turbo compressor wheel makes for an awesome dash ornament, doesn't it? So anyways, hopefully this information can help some folks out there that might be working on a similar truck. And, you know, because I was sitting here going, well, how do you unradio delete a truck? And so I just basically played it by ear and figured it all out. So now hopefully I can help some people in the future figure it out, and they don't have to, well, go into it blind like I did. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and well, until next time.